My name is Ben Azoulay, known as King Azoulay.
No, I'm drifting, catch you slipping, won't be back again.
We know what we want in life, we go out there and we get it.
Roll the riches, lot of fishes, so we throwing nets. Hiking, shipping, magic, and yeah, we back again.
I think
You've measured your dick?
my dick is 9.25.
You've measured it?
I've measured it
With a
yes.
ruler?
Yes.
Okay.
It's the length of exactly the gel, the Gillette gel cream that you wipe your you shave with.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same size, almost the same girth.
Now is that on gear or off gear?
That's off gear.
So on gear.
On gear, it gets even more intense. But I have to be, really interested in the woman.
Okay.
So on gear, it's more intense and it stays harder. Like the hard part stays longer. Like you're just hard.
So okay.
It's insane.
So then what happens when you're on a cycle and then you take Cialis on top of that?
So
You just explode.
yeah. You could literally fuck for 10 hours.
This is Cialis, right?
So that's Cialis right there. Now, a lot of people think that Cialis is Viagra. It's not Viagra. If you take Cialis, it just targets the area. So a lot of bodybuilders, the advanced ones, they know that taking Cialis before a workout, you'll drive more blood into the area. Driving blood to the area, you're driving nutrients to the area. You're expanding it more. And then when it expands and you go eat, all that food and the nutrients and the vitamins and the minerals and the fibers, everything drives in there. So it makes you get bigger much quicker. So a lot of people think that actually steroids will make you big. Steroids don't make you big. Steroids allow you to heal quicker than you would without steroids. Make sense?
That makes sense. So that allows
So
your
if
body
if today I train chest, tomorrow I could train chest.
again, because it just recovers like that. So that means your metabolism is probably increased too. And then your body is also pumping more blood than usual.
Then you're burning more fuel. And you're burning more fuel, you get leaner if you're not eating so much, but the muscle belly will stay fuller. Like when I'm on gear, it's easy for me to be at 230 versus when I'm not on gear and pushing food and I'm at 215. But for me, I find that 230, the heart is the size of your fist. So the size of your fist is just enough to run blood through your body. The body that you're supposed to be at, that body weight. When you go bigger, it's harder for the heart to pump more blood into the areas and through the body. And then it's harder on the heart, and that's why there's heart failure. That's why there's heart attacks. There's aneurysms. All of that comes from too much pressure on the body, on the heart, on the kidneys, on the liver. So I say that if anybody will use steroids, use it only if you're going to compete. Now, if you want to know how many times I've done steroids, that's the one time. Then I never saw it again after that time that my stupid buddy told me, this guy was one crazy motherfucker. Crazy motherfucker.
Was it a clean injection?
Yes.
Okay.
He wiped the area with
Alcohol.
with alcohol wipes, and then he gave me the injection. He opened it brand new like this, and he was safe, but he was one crazy fuck. He was. I mean, stories about him. He's my brother until today. He's been in and out of prisons doing drugs, and now he's got a family. But the guy used to do a ton of drugs, all sorts of drugs. If it's a drug, he wants to take it. If it's water, he doesn't want it. He taught me about drugs too. I didn't know what drugs were, but I never used them. It wasn't for me. So after that, I was like, what is that stupid shit? I don't need to use any of that. That didn't do anything for me. I like the instant gratification. Taking pre-workout, feeling crazy, and that was enough. But then I wanted to compete for the first time when I was 21 years old. And I was going against some bigger guys. So I started talking to some bodybuilders of what should I do and how should I do it. And they let me run gear for 2 months. It was the dumbest thing I've ever done.
So you didn't have a coach.
No.
You asked around to see what was right. So then what was your first cycle?
I was taking tests, and I was taking tests 250 milligrams per week.
Okay.
And I was doing with it mastrone.
Mm.
And that was 150 milligrams in that week, per week. So that's 400 milligrams a week. As I said before in the beginning,
You said,
I'm not a doctor. I'm not a trained professional. I do not recommend anybody taking this. The reason I'm making this video is so you guys won't use it. I do not use steroids today. I got all of this right here from friends so I could show you what it is. I've learned everything about it. And with my knowledge, I could tell you that there's no reason to use steroids unless you're going to become Mr. Olympia. And that means stick to a diet for a few years. Train for a few years. Maximize your potential. Once you're done maximizing your potential, hire a coach. Don't hire a cheap coach. Hire the best coach. Go get blood work done. Check your test levels. Make sure your kidneys are good. Make sure your liver, your heart, your blood pressure, your brain, everything. You got a brain scan if you need to. Whatever it is to make sure that you're 1,000,000%. And then make sure that you have a doctor watching you. Why? Because a lot of people died from this. And a lot of people took things that they believed that was good stuff. Don't buy it off the streets. Today you could go to a doctor. There's the men clinic. You go to any men clinic, you could get it prescribed. You don't need to get it from the streets. This is all prescribed drugs to my friends. You don't need to go to the streets to buy it. You don't know what they're giving you. You don't know what you're taking. A lot of the stuff comes in from Mexico, from China. You don't know what's in there. Then you go crazy. You get crazy acne.
so I have a question.
Yeah.
This is all prescribed.
Yes.
Okay, I want to know, who is prescribing Tren and for what? I've never heard of anyone prescribe Tren.
Right. So some of the prescribed medications are not going to be fully from United States. It could be also from other countries, but you can literally get almost anything.
So it's sourced well.
No, yeah, it's sourced well. There's companies online that they'll send you blood work that you get done, and you send it to them, and they'll send you gear literally monthly. But you pay them like a monthly fee, and you can get anything from them. But it's like a real pharmacy. It's not somebody making it in their bathroom, you know? It's not being made in somebody's bathtub or toilet. It's actually stuff that is tested, and it's 100% the gear that they're telling you that it is.
So that's good Tren.
That is great trend.
So in what application or in what situation would you need Tren?
Don't ever use Tren.
That's what I've heard.
Don't ever use Tren.
But everyone on TikTok and stuff, you know, they
A
all,
lot of people use Tren.
yeah.
Tren was invented for race horses.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't meant for humans. Then humans start using it. First thing that happens when you take Tren, now there's Tren and entate and there's acetate. There's the fast acting and the slow acting. The problem with Tren is that the second that you take it, you think that everybody's against you. You almost get some sort of a paranoia. You also get a lot of acne. Your hair starts falling out in chunks, at least some of it. Some people more, some less, and it doesn't come back. There's no need for Tren. And you could only run it for 6 weeks before you kill your liver. And after you do that, you know what you need to do? Coffee enema. Get organic coffee, cook it, and put it up your butt to clean out your liver.
Mm.
Because that's going to bring back your liver. And it's going to boost your liver by 700%.
I feel like there's like places that do that for
Yes, you could do that too, but I mean, it's
Yeah.
easiest to buy a bucket and buy the coffee, cook it at home, stick it in your butt at home, and that's it.
you. Is that the easiest?
It's the easiest.
Okay. So then, have
When
you
I
ever
wanted
taken
to clean
Tren?
my body, I did it.
So you took Tren and you did that after?
I actually never used Trend in my life.
You've never used Tren?
Never.
Okay.
I just saw my friends what happened to them.
Mm.
And I realized that is something that you don't want to take. I've only took gear 3 times in my life, and it was 3 times before competition. I did 3 competitions, And I hated the fact that I did competitions, and I'll tell you why. Because it's all politics. The guy that beat me is a guy that's under somebody who sponsors part of the show, or he's already done some shows. It's all politics. I don't care how great you look. If you don't come in with a team, if you don't come in with people that know people, you're not going up. You don't get to the next level.
I've heard that too. I saw this one guy on TikTok. He took Tren, and he was sitting on the couch watching a movie with his girlfriend. They were watching Harry Potter, and he started getting emotional.
Right.
And he started crying.
Right.
At Harry Potter.
Right.
Because he was on Tren.
So the trend, what it does for a lot of people, not just making you emotional, but when you take Tren with test together, you'll bring up your estrogen levels, and then you turn into
A bitch.
You get women. One, you could start growing. Some people call on the street bitch tits. It's called gyno. Okay.
Gynecomastia.
Yeah. So if you get gyno, which is extra
breast tissue development.
It's extra tissue in the breast right behind your nipple, and they'll start sticking out. So if you start feeling any pain, you need to take something called Arimidex. But Arimidex is also very strong. So some people take Novadex. Novadex is easier. You can take Novadex daily, but it doesn't work as fast to like drop down your estrogen levels. Also, you need them at a certain level, so you can't do too much, or else if it drops too much, then that's also bad. You know, you need to be at a good place. That's why going with a professional and getting tested. All these top bodybuilders, they all get tested. All of them. And they still die. Well, why do you think all these bodybuilders died in the past few years? Especially, you know, during the vaccination, which was causing a lot of blood clots. You know, it's known to cause blood clots. And then taking steroids, which thickens up your blood. I mean, that's going to cause a very, very traumatizing situation on the heart.